It's Christmas time. Oh wait, no, Black Friday time. Yeah, all that good stuff. And it's time for my Hobbii and KnitPicks Black Friday unboxing. Let's see what we got and what do I think of all of these amazing things. Are you ready to kind of find out what I got? Okay, this is editor Nicole, and I am currently working on the Black Friday yarn haul, but I wanted to let you know that because I'm doing two yarn hauls on this one, both a Hobbii and a KnitPicks slash We Crochet, I'm going to put timestamps in there. So if you want to skip the Hobbii, you want to go right to the KnitPicks, you can totally do that. You can also check out towards the end, I go through some of the different yarns and test them out. I do a little bit of a gauge swatch. So if that's what you're looking for, look for that timestamp and we will jump right over to that. Now, I ordered these things on November 15th during the kind of almost pre-Black Friday sales. They were really good buys. KnitPicks had a $2 for, or a $2, a $4, a $6 options. Hobbii had a bunch of stuff on sale, and I figured Hobbii, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. I call it Hobbii because I actually watched a video where he went through, or they went through, and each of them kind of spoke it, and with the Danish accent, it kind of sounded more like Hobbii than Hobby. But I think technically it's Hobbii, but whatever. It's all good. Anyway, let's open these up and find out what we got. But anyway, oh yes. I was saying I ordered these on November 15th and they arrived on November 22nd. So I ordered both of them on November 15th. The KnitPicks yarn comes from Ohio, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, somewhere, one of those Ohio cities. I'm from Ohio, and I still don't remember which one it comes from, but it comes from one of those Ohio cities. And it arrived here on the same day that the Hobbii order arrived, which was coming from Denmark. So basically what that tells me is that Hobbii processes their orders much more quickly than KnitPicks does. It comes in the same time frame, but just be aware of that overall, that even if you're ordering from a yarn company in Denmark, it can actually still arrive in the same time frame that something that you're ordering within the States.
Yes, in very fast boats.
So there you go. All right, let's open this up. Trusty scissors. Now, this is my second order from Hobbii, and I got a little bit more adventurous on this one. I wanted to order a few different yarns that I could kind of explore and play with and see what they're like. So, but I don't actually remember what all I ordered. I see purple, and I do remember I ordered a lot of purple because purple's my favorite color. So I got three, it looks like three of these Hurricane, and I think I may have been considering these to make leg warmers for my granddaughter. Not entirely positive. This is a 4-weight yarn. No, it's a 3-weight yarn. And it is 100% acrylic. So you can kind of see that it is. I have another acrylic that I bought, I think it was a Lion brand, that has very similar coloring to this, but that was more of a long self-striping, so it was more of a solid, whereas this is going to be, I think it's going to work up very differently than that did, because that was like purple on the outside and then a different purple and then a white, and it kind of went all the way in, whereas this is all different throughout. I think I'm going to like this better than the kind of traditional cakes where it's long self-striping. Anyway, I think that's what I got it for, were leg warmers for my granddaughter. But I didn't take notes, so who knows? Okay, so that's first up. Oh, there's some fun stuff in here. Okay, what is this? Look at that. Now, I remember I said I was just kind of exploring some stuff. So some of this is only one skein. And this is Universe XL. So this is also a DK weight. It is 98% acrylic and 2% polyester. And it has a ribbon of glitter, kind of shiny yarn that goes through it. So it has a very beautiful kind of colorway. Hopefully you can see that. And it has browns and purples and kind of some burgundies. And I think those are really, really lovely together. No idea what I'll do with this, but I wanted to kind of test some of these different yarns, so we'll see. I have some pom-pom, and this is a worsted medium weight, although it does not feel medium weight. It looks kind of more like a DK, but if they say it's medium weight, all right. It is 70% cotton and 30% alpaca. So again, I don't know if you can see it real well, but there's a really nice halo on this, and I'm sure that's the alpaca. And I really wanted to try something that had the alpaca in it with the cotton, because the cotton's really lightweight, but the alpaca gives it that beautiful halo. Or I shouldn't say the cotton's lightweight, because it's really not, but it's more cooling than something that's heavier like a wool. This, though, I'm not sure my first impression is it's not quite as soft as I was hoping it would be with the alpaca. I want to work with it. I want to do a gauge swatch and see if I change my mind about that. But right now, it's not giving me the vibes that I was hoping for. So we'll see. Next up, we have an Olivin, kind of like Oblivion, only without the B, Olivin. And this is a fine yarn. It is a cotton linen blend, so 50% cotton, 50% linen. Again, because I live in this really warm climate, I want yarns that are going to be cooling and not quite as heavy. And so I wanted to kind of try this. Again, I want to try a gauge swatch, because right off the bat, it's not feeling super soft. Like I'm going to want this against my skin all the time. Like there are different cottons that feel really nice and luxurious. This, so far, I'm not saying that it would be one of them, but let's do a gauge swatch and find out. Okay, next up we have a cotton silk, Friends Cotton Silk, and this is a 3 weight. This it's got kind of a bumpy feel to it. Quite interesting. The silk is 22% silk, 78% cotton. So it is definitely a little bit softer, definitely softer than the cotton linen for sure, which I would expect. I'm surprised I picked the green, but maybe I was just trying to go outside of my comfort zone, because honestly, this is not my favorite green, but maybe it's yours. I don't know, just not mine. Okay, so kind of soft, but also has that bumpy texture. So the way that it is wrapped, I guess, or spun, gives it a little bit more of a bumpy texture to it. So next up is Silly Socks, and this is in the colorway, oh gosh, I don't remember, and they don't actually put the names of the colorways on the labels. They do have names for them on the website, but they just don't add the names on the labels. They only do the number. So this is number 7, and this is a super fine, so this is a fingering weight. And it is 75% wool, 25% polyamide, yes. And it feels very much like wool to me. So it feels like a classic sock yarn that is a little bit more of the rough, scratchy kind of feeling. A little disappointing because, again, I'm not a big fan of the rough, scratchy, and I was actually looking forward to making some socks that were fuzzy, warm, cozy, comfortable. But at the same time, I want to make a pair of socks that I can wear with my motorcycle boots. Yes, I ride a motorcycle. And so it has to be a little bit durable too. So we'll see. We'll work with it. So far, I'm not like wowed by any of this stuff. What do we have next? Okay, so I have 2 of these. And these are the Dahlia Mixos. Wow, these are very, very dense. There's a lot of yarn in here. Move that aside. Oh, wait. No candy.
No candy? Oh, no candy?
Well, I didn't love the candy, but it's still kind of disappointing that it did not come. Oh well, is what it is. Okay. Dahlia Mixo, and this is a 100% cotton. It is the stranded, so it is not twisted. And each strand is a different color. So we have a strand of kind of a raspberry, one of like a white, and then a couple of purples in there. So this is I believe it is a sock weight. So it's a number 2. And again, 100% cotton. So just another thing to try. I think I did have an idea for this too. Obviously, if I ordered 2 of them, can't remember what it was.
What notes? You weren't taking notes?
So we'll set those aside. Yes, we had a purple theme going here. And move over to the KnitPicks. Now, I'm a little discouraged because this is the second time that I've gotten a KnitPicks order where the box was open. Fortunately, both times, I'm going to make a loud noise here. The yarn was in a separate bag, and I do believe when I placed the order, it asked if I wanted it in a bag, and I said yes. And the reason that I said yes actually had more to do with I didn't want the box fibers getting all over the yarn, so I opted to put it in a bag. But now that I think about it, since the box has been broken open twice in shipment, I feel like at least having it in the bag is much more likely that it's not going to fall out and get lost. So I think that was a smart idea. Okay, but let's try and turn this upside down because this is the bottom of the box. Which kind of ruins the surprise. Oh well, all good. Okay. Here is the gloss fingering weight. This is 70% merino wool and 30% silk. So I wanted something that felt a little bit more luxurious with the silk in it. Maybe I'm just off today, but none of these are feeling like so heavenly that I just absolutely have to. And, I think we have those days where textures just feel different. As I kind of work my finger into it, it feels a little bit softer. But, again, let's do a gauge swatch. And then, of course, I got some of the gray to go with that. So I thought those 2 colors would look really pretty together. And we can figure out what we want to do with those. Oh, here's a couple more of the gray. That one lost a tag. And one more of that. So I think if I do a top with those, it will be very, very lovely. Those colors I think will be very beautiful together. Then we have some of this memento. Let's see if I can find all the mementos.
It's a Mentos.
Not Mento, memento. And this is a DK weight. It is 100% Pima cotton. So I think I'll do a video that kind of goes over the different types of cottons and the different types of wools, and do one for each of those, because there are definitely variations and not all cottons are made alike. Not all wools are made alike. So it's really beneficial to you to know what the difference is if you prefer that type of base for your material. So these are the DK weight mementos, and this is in gray, and this would make very nice crochet amigurumi, but it is a little bit on the small side. I don't remember again what the pricing on all of this stuff was, and I got it on sale anyway. So, you know, check your We Crochet or your KnitPicks website, and you'll kind of get that sense for it. But these are on the smaller size. So this is, I believe, 116 yards for 50 grams. So keep that in mind when you're buying yarn online, is that different sizes, different yarns are going to come in different sizes. So this, for example, is also the DK weight, and it is 200 grams. So that is 874 yards. Very different sizes. So it's really important that you do your homework when you're ordering online, because they don't all come the same. Now, I did go a little bit hog wild on these absolutely stunning, they're called Chroma. I think I got 4 of this color. I think these are beautiful, and they are, it's a fingering weight, 70% superwash, 30% nylon, and that is very similar to the KnitPicks stroll that I use. I think that might be the same makeup. So it is very soft. I think the nylon kind of takes down the scratchiness of the wool, and maybe the superwash does too, but these are in such an amazing colorway. I just love the coloring on these. Now, these were a little bit more on the expensive side, but I just think they're gorgeous. So I'm actually excited to make a top with these. And these come in 396 yards, 100 grams. So the 400, 800, almost 1600 grams or yards. So hopefully that's enough to make a top. This is the Caprietta, and oh, this is very soft. This is 80%, 80% superwash, fine merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And this, you can feel the cashmere. Like, this makes it super soft. So this is a very luscious fingering weight, but it's just very, very soft. So this I could see myself using on a regular basis. Yep, I like you.
You're my new best friend.
I don't know if I'm gonna like the price because of the cashmere, but I understand why cashmere is so popular. This is in the colorway Pinot Heather, and it is 230 yards with 50 grams. So, and because it's superwash, even with the cashmere, it's still machine wash, cold, tumble dry, low. How exciting is that? Okay, for me, it's kind of exciting. Maybe you don't care. I like that. That's luscious. Okay. I did also buy, these are another one of those chromas, and this is in the colorway What's Crackin'.
Release the Kraken.
So I just think that that's a really, it's got some teal, some blue, some grays, And I think that would also make a really lovely something in that colorway. So I think it's really pretty. Yes, I bought 2 of those. Again, probably not enough to make anything substantial, but very, very soft. Okay, we got 2 of those. Ah, here's another Kraken. And then last but not least, oh, I don't know what this wrapper was for. Oh, that was a lava party. We have a Capra DK weight Magnolia Heather, and this also 85% wool, merino wool, and 15% cashmere. So again, a very luscious, very soft yarn. Yeah, those I like. What do you think? I know, so obviously I like the DK weights and smaller, and that's what I tend to buy. But these were all very good buys. I think all of this in total on sale, I think I spent around $175 for all of this yarn. Okay, this is Editing Nicole again, and I wanted to break down how much I actually saved for everybody, and well, for me, and kind of for my husband too. So I did a spreadsheet and I figured out how much did I spend on each of the different yarns, how much was the regular price for each of those yarns, and then also how much is the regular sales price, because most of these online stores have sales prices quite frequently, and that's generally what I buy the yarns for. I rarely pay full price. So I wanted to see, is this really a great sale, or is this kind of more of just more of the same? That way I know for next year. And this is what I've got. So for Hobbii, I spent $81.20, and that doesn't count shipping or tax. I don't think I paid shipping, but it doesn't count for tax or anything like that. So I paid $81.20 for the yarn. The regular price for that yarn would have been $158.20. So right there, that's like half. I spent half as much as a regular price. But the regular sales prices for Hobbii, I figure about 25% discount. So normally it would have been $118.65, which means I saved about $37.45 over what I would have normally paid for those things. Again, because I don't usually pay full retail price, I usually get these things on sale. I usually look for at least a 25% discount, so that's what I saved at Hobbii. Now, KnitPicks / We Crochet, they were doing a $2, $4, or $6 skein. And so the total that I spent there was $99.16. The regular price for that yarn would have been $210.29. And the regular sale price for that, because they're actually still doing some sales, the sales just aren't nearly as good as what it was when they did the 2, 4, and 6. The regular sale price is $144.19. So I saved quite a bit of money by making sure that I was shopping the Black Friday / really extra special sales. Now, I don't know if We Crochet is going to be doing that another sort of Black Friday sale, 2 for $6 skeins. But certainly it's really in your best interest to pay attention to when the best sales are happening and not just go with any normal sale. So I'll kind of put it together and give you a big picture so you can see everything I got. But I think it was a really good buy, a really good experiment. But now I really want to do some gauge swatches on some of these so that you guys can see if it changes as you start working with it, because sometimes that initial feel isn't the best. Let's try this one. This is the Friends Cotton Silk. I don't know how this is going to end up working out. This is what you call a donut. If you haven't seen my video on who the heck Hank is and why he's eating donuts and cakes, well, here, check that one out. But let's go ahead, and we need for this one. So I got my 5mm hook here, and I'm just going to do a little bit of a gauge swatch with this. So nothing fancy, because I'll probably rip it out in case I want to use this yarn for something. But I also just want to kind of see how it feels and how it works up in as we go. So we'll kind of go with that. It's a little hard to see. I'm doing a half double crochet just because it's not as dense as a single, but less time consuming than a double. And it'll give me just a general idea. This is not what I would call the easiest to work with. It's not very slippery. It's cotton, so I wouldn't necessarily expect it to be. But some cottons are, it does have silk. So I would kind of, and it does give you a very bizarre texture. So the silk does give it that softness, but because it's kind of a bumpy, so what I'm looking for, when it spins, the way it's spun, it leaves kind of a bumpy texture to it. So it would be something that is going to lend itself to a very specific type of project. Something that you want smooth is not gonna be a great idea for this one. So that's my first impression. I don't think this would be something that I would buy again in the future. All right, let's try the linen, cotton and linen. And this one needs a 3.5mm hook. And this one, it's definitely thinner than many of the cottons that I've worked with. It's not slick at all. And all of these things, you know, for you, having something that's not slick may be ideal. That might be exactly what you're looking for. Whereas generally, I like something that slides a little bit nicer, that isn't. This would be a really nice yarn for something like a dishcloth where you want some more structure. You want it to be a little bit firmer. It doesn't need to have that nice softness. Again, I don't know that I'm a big fan of this one. It feels very industrial. And given that most of what I make is going to be garment related, I don't like the industrial. And you honestly, well, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a color kind of, it's woven, so you've got a darker and a lighter. But once you work it up, you can't really see the different colors in there. So it all kind of becomes one mottled color. No, I don't think I'm a fan of that one either. Well, that's okay. That's why we're exploring these. That's why maybe I'm exploring them for you so that I can do the buying and see if it's something that you like based on my opinion. 2 down. I'm not going to do all of them by any means, but I did want to test some of these. Now, let's go ahead and try this cashmere. All right, this one is definitely a hand wash, dry flat. And again, we've got a donut. So this, very soft, just as I would have expected. It works up like a soft acrylic. So whereas typically a cotton is going to have a lot less pull, or a lot less what's the word I'm looking for? Stretch. The cotton seems to have less stretch than the acrylic does, in my opinion. And so this, while it is definitely very soft, and it works up like an acrylic would, but it feels, you know what? It's definitely softer. Definitely softer than an acrylic. But if you're budget conscious, you might want to go with the acrylic softer options. This is definitely, because it's got the cashmere in there, there's definitely going to be more luxury to it. But I know that I have worked with some acrylics that are just as soft as this. So find some of those acrylics that are designed for like the baby yarns, that kind of thing. Unless, of course, you're not a fan of the acrylic because of the fact that it's plastic. Then this might be a perfect option for you. So it's all just kind of depends on what our personal preferences are. But this is definitely soft. It definitely works up like an acrylic. Very similar body, kind of the way that it works. So there you go. I would buy this again, other than the fact that it is hand wash only, and I'm generally very nervous about the hand wash. Okay, because I don't like to hand wash. Not a fan. This is a medium weight. This is the pom-pom, and 70% cotton, 30% alpaca. So this one has the alpaca in it, and it again uses the eye hook, 5.5 millimeter. Interesting. I'm a little shocked that I'm not in love with many of these yarns as much as I thought I would be. There's definitely a very nice halo on this. And if you want something that is a cotton with a halo, this might be a beautiful option for you. So it's going to have that structure that the cotton does. With a halo. Makes for a very, very interesting combination. I wonder how it would feel. Actually, I think I'm really liking this. I'm really liking this, actually. You definitely have a lot of stitch definition that you would expect from a cotton, but the alpaca gives it a very soft halo feel. That's very interesting. Huh. I kind of like it. All right. Well, we got a winner in that one. I might order more of that one. I'm still not sure entirely, because the halo kind of makes you think that you wouldn't want something warm. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go on the Hobbii website and look at some of the other pattern ideas for this and see what other people have made, given that it's cotton with alpaca. We'll explore that. Okay, let's do one more. And I think we're going to try... Ooh, this is pretty dense. My only concern if I start this is, well, we'll go with it. Just in the idea of working with you guys. Okay. Now, these, because they come in the cake, they do have the easy starts, which are always, always, always nice. So this has the easy start, so you can work it from the center. And it's recommending a 3.5 to a 4 millimeter hook. So, as you can see, I pulled it out, and it has a nice little flow there. Now this is the twisted, so this has not been twisted, so it's just the individual strands. Let's see if I can kind of show you here. They are not twisted together. Now, One thing that I did read is when you're working with this, it's a recommendation is to thread a bead on here so that you're not getting splittiness. So I'm going to try it without because I don't happen to have a bead handy right this second. And we'll see how this works up without. Chain stitch goes fine. It is rough like you would expect a cotton to be rough. So it doesn't have that nice softness that like a merino cotton or a Pima cotton would have. This would be really nice if you did want to kind of add in a more luxurious kind of a mohair or something like that, or even an alpaca. And you wanted to combine them so that you have a heavy, oh, so there was the first time I got a split there. So if you are a crochet newbie or you don't have the patience to deal with splitting yarn, it's probably this and the twister, or not the twister, the Sultan Cotton King Sultan Solids is like this as well. And if you go slow, it's totally doable. But if you're kind of a speed crocheter, or you struggle with getting your hook in there and getting yarn splits, and that's very frustrating to you, you might not want to get these and work with it. It works up like cotton. It's kind of the rough, scratchy, what I would expect. It's not super soft, but it does have a very nice colorway. So the colors in here work up pretty. It gives it some depth that I really like, and is one of the reasons why I tend to go for not solid colors, because I like to have some depth overall and just kind of get an idea of if I wanted solid if I wanted solid color clothing, I could go to the store and buy solid color clothing. I want to make things that have a touch of something extra, especially if I'm doing something that has a very basic, simple stitch to it. So then I want the color or the colorway to kind of stand out and add some character to it. So it's not the most fun yarn to work with, but if you're patient and you're okay with that, I don't know, honestly, the issues, the challenges that I was having. I don't think that putting a bead on there would make any difference on that sense. But you certainly can try it and see if that works for you. But I'll use it because I think that it's a very pretty color, but just keep that in mind. Okay, so I think that's good. I think that's kind of giving you a little bit of an overview of some of the different things that we've used, especially some of the ones that I was really more curious about. If there's one that you're curious about that I have and you would love for me to kind of test it out on camera, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy either the yarn unboxings or me trying different yarns and seeing how they work up, I would love to hear from you. And if you've tried some of these yarns and you have a different opinion or you have the same opinion, let me know that in the comments below as well. Like this video if it's good information for you, because that's how YouTube kind of knows that I'm doing a good thing here. And subscribe so you always have some great content to watch. And tell me about your latest Black Friday yarn haul. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much. We're actually dog number 1 because she's the first dog is here saying hi. Rachel, you want to say hi? Ugh. And messing with the camera. This is Rachel. Yes. Say hi. Okay. Go on. Go bye-byes. Before you knock my camera down. Go on. Then I have the pom-pom. Uh-oh, dog number 2's coming in. Hi, sweetie. Okay, come on, girls. Off. Go. Thank you.